Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We are still running Japan. Still chilling. Not getting up to too much on the international stage right now. I'm just going to check here and make sure that we are getting our ticking loyalists from legitimacy. So we got 32k in the high legitimacy line item here. Speed this up a little bit. It goes by, we've still got 32k. Okay. Well, it does still appear to be working. So we'll leave that for now. We're enacting poor laws here. That's the thing that's been on the docket for a bit. Hopefully it'll pass this time through. We are going to need to... Law stalled. Interesting. Not necessarily a problem. We are going to need to... Yes, I already queued in some government... Sorry, it's a new session, obviously. You can tell that because Glory to the Queen is playing. Something I've said probably dozens of times before at this point. But it is what it is. We're going to have some government buildings queued in to make sure that that works. So how's the tooling market? Tooling market is good. How many weeks? One more week until we've got our next round of tooling workshops built up. We do actually have a little bit of leftover authority. So I'm just going to put in a road maintenance decree in both places we're building, just to make this move a little bit faster. I'm going to need to micromanage that a little bit. So let's watch the tooling industry now. So we just launched a new level industry. And our number is not going up? Should be. Kanto's having a hard time hiring. Okay. It's going up because the price of iron is so high. I wonder if the price of iron is generally locking down our level of tools. So the building is profitable at this level, so I wonder... Okay, but it's not employing more. So, let's see what we can't... see if we can't do something about that. What do we have? So we were using tools to increase the effectiveness of our logging camps. Okay, interesting. We already have our furniture manufactories on lathe. So that's not something we can use. So let's start going ahead with... Okay, and we've already got livestock ranches and butchering tools. So that's not a problem. Bureaucratic imbroglio, another stall event. Lawmakers working toward the enactment of poor laws have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. We can say, damn this labyrinthine legal system that increases enactment time by 20% and reduces the chance by 10%. Or we can cut through at least some of the red tape. This costs us some bureaucracy and makes bureaucrat pops and consci more radical. At this point, we've got a wide variety of modifiers. We're technically up 5% from our baseline because the movement is generally really strong. So I think we're actually just going to do this one and eat the increased time. This isn't a huge priority to us, and we don't want any more radical pops. Alright, perfect. We've changed over locations, and we're building again. We're now working on Shikoku and Shugoku. Okay, no, those are still the two locations. Huh, clever. Good thinking, me. Good thinking earlier, me. Definitely planned that. We've actually significantly drained our gold reserves, but we're not below our maximum yet, or if we are, we're just barely below our maximum. Yeah, okay, our gold reserve is 3.6k. I knew there was a way to check on that. We finished improving relations with Austria. So now let's begin improving relations with Prussia. And we've got a little bit of influence left over. So we'll work on Belgium as well. Again, we're just trying to make sure that our relationships with the European powers are solid. Alright, so now we started a new university in Kyushu. So we'll move the road maintenance fee from Shikoku to Kyushu. Oh, interesting. We've got industrialists now. They're actually very pleased with the overall situation, and that's completely fine with me. Can I pull them into the government? Not reasonably. But that's fine. I don't need them. We've got another movement towards tenant farmers. I think that might be something to push in on. We'll see. We'll see how things are going. The Shogunate are generally very pleased with things. They would be okay with tenant farmers. They wouldn't be happy about it, but they would be okay with it. So I'm inclined to pull the trigger on that. But we'll see. I don't want to go too far too fast, because again, this is not a run where... This is a run where we are trying to maintain the old way. Popular playwright, right. Oh, goodness, we have a new shogun. Tokugawa Ienari has passed, and Tokugawa Ieyoshi is the new shogun. He is also a traditionalist, so that shouldn't be too large a change in politics. In the midst of the debate surrounding poor laws, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the industrialists, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. I'm going to once again ensure the play gets a wider international audience. Small chunks of 20 prestige mean a lot at this stage of the game. And so we're continuing to move up in rank. Because we're unrecognized, we're never going to be able to get past major, and I don't think we'll ever be able to get past any recognized power. So as you can see, Two Sicilies is lower prestige than us, but we're still lower rank than them because we're unrecognized. That having been said, getting more prestige is good, and it will help keep us in a solid position. And again, I'm not too actually genuinely worried about poor laws with that whole situation. Again, we're trying to build up paper mills to make sure that that we're able to afford the level of universities we're working on. Netherlands ended their rivalry with Spain. That's, I guess, interesting, but not ultimately relevant to my situation. So let's see here. We could definitely afford to... Interesting, our clothing and furniture is actually being overproduced right now. So let's go ahead and export some. We can get some to the Dutch market. And then... So that's furniture, and then we'll send a little bit of clothing overseas. Yeah, I can't really... Yeah, we'll send it to the Dutch market. There we go. And now we've got a new heir, Masataka Tokugawa. Here's Ieyoshi. He is a traditionalist and an historical character, the historical, I want to say 12th shogun of the Bakufu, of the Tokugawa Shogunate. He aligns with the shogunate. His heir also does as well. That's not shocking. Costs are getting better. I haven't been watching these line items too closely, but they do seem to be improving. So that's good. That's good for us overall. 2 more weeks till the paper mills in Shugoku are completed, and then we'll be able to go ahead and move our road maintenance decree, and we'll do it now, from Shugoku to Tohoku. There we go. Because we want to always be maintaining that where we're building, where we're doing the most building. We are continuing to work on improving our innovation, and as you can see, our innovation is going up. That is very important for the health of our country long term, to keep our innovation solid. Our finances are improving a little bit. I wonder if it's the investment pool. Not sure. Backroom dealings exposed. This is a bad one. Prominent members of the industrialists, outspoken supporters of poor laws, and close allies of Tokugawa Ienari have been exposed in a political corruption scandal, having exchanged favors for personal gifts. What is the chief end of man? To get rich. In what way? Dishonestly if we can, honestly if we must. Such as the nature of politics gives him a big... And Yamaya Takamori is the leader of the industrialists. Yeah. Such as the nature of politics, this gives him a big popularity penalty and reduces enactment chance by 15. Throw them to the wolves, who must clean up this mess. This costs us some bureaucracy, which I really don't want to do. Or we can derive some benefit by participating ourselves. But this gives us a setback, which I also don't want. So, if we get a legislative failure, we'll just... all of our modifiers will be cleared, and we'll be back up to about just above where we are now. So reducing the enactment chance isn't bad. So I'm going to go with that. Again, not a big deal. This is not a huge thing. All right. We're cleaning up in Kyushu, and the next place we're going to need to maintain roads more is in Kanto, which is here. Get my Japanese geography improved here. So, where's the market? Iron is still very expensive. Yeah, that is going to have to be something we'll work on imminently. Because I still need to work on getting my construction sectors up. We're doing pretty okay with wood, so I might be able to build a couple more construction sectors without a problem. So let's see. Good places to build. Could put one in Chubu. Oh boy. Representing his constituents in the Shogunate, Takachika Mori has issued a formal petition to the Japanese government to pass isolationism. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about the new legislation. Is that it? Goodness, you seem like you've seen a ghost. I'm sure we can spare the last hours of light for them, can't we? I believe so, sir. And they weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do. That's really interesting. I wonder what will become of that. We've got some available infrastructure in Kanto and some in both Tohoku and Kyushu, but as well as Chubu. We've got the most labor available in Chubu, but infrastructure is low there, so we can't build too much. So I'm going to put the new sectors in Kanto and Tohoku. And I'm just going to tick them up to the top. These are going to be for wood frame sectors for now, I think. Oh, both of these are iron frame locations. Maybe we'll build them, but flip one other one back down. Yeah, I think that's what we'll end up doing. We'll end up moving the ones in Tohoku over to iron frame in order to make that happen. Is it worth it right now? Maybe we'll actually put it at the end of the iron frame, of the iron mines. And then we'll have enough iron to make that work. And then and then after that, we'll finish out building up our arms industries. Yeah, I think that's the way we're going to do it. All right. The Ottoman Empire tried to make a protectorate of Venezuela. That's not something you see every day. The principle of population. Some intellectuals are warning that if poor laws are not passed, an increasing population of unproductive poor will become an unmaintainable burden on society. A growing poor population is an inevitability in a society which does not attempt to control it. Some measures may seem callous to the short-sighted, but if the poor are not discouraged from multiplying, we shall soon have more starving mouths. A firm hand is required to stave off disaster. This gives us 2% of lower stratum pops become radical. This fear-mongering makes the law seem outright inhumane. Minus 15% enactment chance. The first one gives us 15% extra enactment chance. Or we must take the time to make better arguments known. This gives us 1 setback and 15% extra enactment chance, but it makes 2% of upper stratum pops become radical. I'm going to take the second one. No extra radicals. That's going to drop our enactment chance down to 0%. We're going to get a legislative failure and a setback, but we're not going to get any more radicals. And we'll have 1 more setback left, and hopefully we'll be fine. Hopefully we'll be able to get it passed. We'll have 30% at that point. We're going to have at least a few ticks, I assume, before we... It will be pretty improbable if we hit a setback result on the die roll here, given that our stall percent is only 44% chance. Our stall chance is only 44%, rather, is how I should have said that. We're now in Kanto and Shigoku. Gotta remember to do that. There we go. Legislative failures. Sponsor complete rewrite of the bill. It gives us 1 setback, and it clears all of this business. Bam. So we're back at 37%. Turns out poor laws are a little bit more of a struggle than one might have thought. Alright. Hey, establish a university. Higher learning. The shogun himself has officially opened the university in Tohoku. Academia is beginning to flourish in the Japanese shogunate. Philosophy is the highest calling of mankind. Through philosophy, we can come to understand the very foundations of metaphysics, the nature of the divine, and the essence of virtue. It stands to reason, then, that only the most enlightened of wisdom seekers are fit to hold power. Society should be ruled by philosopher kings. This gives us 25% university throughput and 50% increased political strength of academics. Or modern institutions should employ modern methods. This gives us 2.5k progress on empiricism. I'm going to take the tech progress. In this run, we're almost always going to take the tech progress because we've got such a firm cap on innovation output that we're going to need those little boosts to make sure we get where we're trying to go. We're still a year away from the Atmo pump engine, and that's not ideal. I think I'm also going to go ahead and tick these arms industries, shipyards, and other stuff down, because I want these government admins getting built so that I don't have a cash flow problem. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I need these built sooner. Because I want to make sure I don't have a cash flow problem when I pass poor laws. Assuming I get poor laws passed, because passing poor laws is going to reduce my bureaucracy up here. There it goes. So as you can see, we now have a cash flow problem because we're experiencing some tax waste due to being under our bureaucracy limit. But that should only be for a little while longer. Second government admin is being built in Shikoku, but this one's being built in Chugoku. How much does each level get us? Each level gets us 50, so we need to have exactly 2 in order to get the bureaucratic capacity that we need. So, get those built where they are. The political movement to enact poor laws disbanded, and now we've got a huge pile of loyalists, which makes me very happy. That's exactly what I was hoping to get out of this situation. So, the shogunate wants isolationism. This will make the industrialists very unhappy, but here's the skinny. The shogunate will get minus 15 approval if we fail to pass. Cool. And if we fail to pass isolationism. So we kind of have to, because we can't have our main Tokugawa Ieyoshi's faction resigning from government. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Sorry, America. Alright, with that having been said, let's go ahead and get our interests reworked. We've gotten what we need out of our interest in America, so let's declare an interest in Indonesia. And what this will do is this will allow us to rival some of these smaller states down here. It won't necessarily be a problem for us, but it will allow us to have a little bit of extra influence that we can use to improve relations with the European powers, so that we can continue to maintain peace in the land. Still working on the Atmel pump engine there. And unfortunately, it looks as though we'll be moving to a more closed system than a system that's just as closed as the one we started with, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Really do want to get producing more glass, but I don't have the lead, and that just is what it is. Alright. Oh, interesting. Our trade routes with the United States broke. Well, that is what it is. We were importing tools, that's no longer profitable, so let's scrap it. And we're exporting a little bit of dye to Prussia, that's no longer profitable, scrap it. Interesting. Now the dye exports to France are doing better. Any other countries want grain? No. Or none that want it more than we do. So I'm going to go ahead and rival Cyan. I know technically that's... I know that was a way that that country was called for a long time. The Timor Liberal Revolt. Or the Netherlands, interesting. Who else can we... Let's look at the diplomatic interface down here and see who we can rival. Only Great Qing, and I don't want to rival Great Qing. Alright, so that wasn't as smart a play as I could have had. But that's okay. Discord within the Buddhist monks. An influential faction within the Buddhist monks has grown frustrated by their co-members' neutrality on the topic of isolationism. Themselves in favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I see need of such a lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. Now, with their support, the bill shall pass, or the Shogunate extend an open hand to these mavericks. Again, first one, weakens the monks, gives me an enactment chance. Second one, weakens the monks a lot, strengthens the Shogunate, gets me less enactment chance. I'm going with the first one, because I want to get this passed. Let's see. We're doing well on relations overall with the European majors. Let's start improving with Spain. We're currently improving with Belgium. Netherlands, we're solid with. We're at plus 50 already. We've got a little bit more influence. Let's work on Russia. 125 influence. Is that enough to work on a minor power? Huh. Interesting. Alright, well that's fine. We're right where we want to be with that. Go ahead and get us unpaused here. Still keeping a strong eye on the construction queue here. Just make sure that we're as efficient as we can possibly be with all of this. I'm actually going to queue in our iron mines in among these universities, because I think iron mines getting built up is like relatively lifebloody. So our finances don't appear to have been cured by the increase in the size of the bureaucracy, which I'm not super duper pleased about. Let's look at things. The price of paper is still only moderate, so I'm concerned. Oh, you know what? It's because the industrialists are evading taxes. Okay, well, that is what it is. That'll eventually go away once we complete our move to isolationism. Open up the economy. Unfortunately, due to the movement to isolationism being extremely popular with the rural folk, they've left the movement to enact tenant farmers. I mean, the movement to enact tenant farmers is actually very weak now. It's good overall from a radicalism perspective, but it's not great in terms of getting tenant farmers passed, which is a thing I would kind of like to do. However, now this time around, now that we've got a proper, like, actual army, it won't necessarily be a given that the next time someone decides to fight us over our closed economy, we'll be fighting them. Once again, we're having reduced bureaucracy here because now we've got social welfare active. Oh, you know what? It's also the actual cost of the welfare payments, which are about 3.5K. It's not that much, because our institutional investment is very low, and because our level of unemployment is pretty significant, actually. Interesting. So where's all this unemployment happening? 102K unemployed in Kyushu. None in Shigoku. Small number in Shikoku. Large number in Kansai. Moderate number in Chubu. Interesting. Gotta say, wouldn't have expected that. Interesting. So that's another motivating factor to keep our industrial economy growing. So that's interesting. All right, let's get moving on to another song here. Not this one. All right. Arms industries are unprofitable. That's just the nature of the beast. Anytime you've got national militia in a country, your arms industries are going to be unprofitable. It's just because with no standing army, they don't have anyone to sell guns to. That said, though, we could sell guns abroad. Prussia likes guns. And what about small arms? Spain would like them. And Portugal as well. Other countries will buy our artillery. France will, and that's all. Alright. Actually, let me go ahead and take a look at these trade routes. I do have another unprofitable trade route with France, so I'm going to scrap that one. And that'll just make sure that my bureaucracy is where I want it to be. Isolationism has an advance. Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Takachika Mori, leader of the Shogunate, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of isolationism. Making an appearance in the square in Kyoto's main, before the public in Kyoto's main square, Mori Takachika's powerful rhetoric left even the most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across the Japanese shogunate, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly. This gives me 15% enactment chance. Or performances like these reflect well on Mori Takshika and his cause, which makes him more popular but gives us less enactment chance. I'm going to go with more enactment chance. We're just trying to knock this out to make sure that the shogunate doesn't get super pissed. They are doing well, which is giving us a little bit of a bonus to contributions to the investment pool, which will help us grow the economy, but it is a little rough right now because we are in some ways reliant on these trade routes, and if they go, they go. There is an exploit when you're Japan, which is you can stay isolationist and become a protectorate of a colonial power, and that allows you to retain your isolationism while still whilst also not what's the word I'm looking for? Brain bad a lot of the time. That allows you to retain your isolationism without losing your no trade routes, and still allow you to have access to a market, which is sort of busted. I'm going to put some more paper mills in Kyushu because I want to make sure to keep the price of paper down so that I don't wind up in a situation where I can't afford to run my government. Alright. We are still increasing the number of iron mines in the country. We're getting up to the Atmo pump engine. That will not be long now at all. So let's see. If we activated our iron mines, we'll have... It'll cost us 45 additional... Well, it'll cost us 60 additional tools. There we are, we're at adoption. But it'll also cost coal. I wasn't thinking about the coal side of things. Okay, hold on. Let's get these construction sectors going up here. Just get those knocked out so that we can make sure we have them, and then I'm going to need coal mines. Heck. I hadn't thought about the coal mine part at all. So let's pull everything else down and get these coal mines up. Stock exchange. Neat. They're just trade bureaucracy cost. That would be very good if I were in a situation where I were using, if I weren't about to not be using trade routes. Yes, we have romanticism spreading. All right, that's very good. Chubu and Kansai. Oh wait, this is Chubu. Hold on. Again, trying to make sure we use those decrees to keep construction efficiency up. Next university is going to be in the Ryukyus. We're almost at Atmo Pump Engine. So I'll go ahead and split these between the universities, and we'll shift our decree from Kansai to the Ryukyus. Are you an incorporated state? Yes, you are. Okay, interesting. Wow, our finances are completely goofed now. Why is that happening, I wonder? There's the Atmo Pump Engine. I haven't been paying that much attention to these line items. Welfare is still stable. Confusing. Now we're working on concession. There's isolationism. That's our government petition completed, so how goofed up is our market? I'm just going to go ahead and close all these. Alright, unfortunately our iron mines are goofed. Urgh. This is not ideal. So I will bring these up to the top because we're going to need a bunch more. That said, we did just unlock the Atmo pump engine. So as soon as we've got enough coal that we can get started working on Atmo pump engine mines, we will. And we'll set the coal mines immediately to Atmo pump engine. So they'll be producing 40 coal a pop. And then we'll get the iron mines converted over once we have the coal mines built. So hopefully that won't lead to too significant a disruption in our economy here. Current innovation target is intensive agriculture. That will allow us to dramatically increase our grain output. More importantly, it'll allow us to actually build the chemical plants that we'll need in order to build a German leadership play. That's exciting. Austria wants to puppet Saxony and Waldeck. That little country there. And Prussia wants to conquer Bohemia. Oh, look at that. And subjugate Württemberg here. What an interesting situation. We'll see what happens. And they're embargoing each other. That's not shocking. 2 more weeks till these coal mines are built. So, we'll have 40 coal to play with. So, if we go to APE with our ones in Kanto, that should be just enough. Yep, technically we've got a coal shortage, but we'll be bringing in enough coal to be able to function with that fairly enough. Oh, you know what? I'm in the Ryukyus and not Kyushu where I'm building the coal mines. I know this whole thing with the decrees seems a little bit high effort, but truthfully, it is very important. Can I pull in another consumption tax to improve my overall finances? Yes. Let's go ahead and put one on. Oof. It's going to have to be something that'll really mess up the working class, which is not ideal. Let's do meat. That'll help our finances just a bit. I've toyed around with the idea of going to a consumption-based taxes in this run, just to have... Why are you not producing the amount of coal that I would like? Oh, you're not fully employed yet. I'm like, why is this happening? And it's like, oh, because of the people. Because it takes time to hire the people who need to run the coal mine. Alright, so that'll get us up to 80 coal. Pretty soon we'll be getting pops buying coal. In fact, we might already... Yeah, we've already got a few. So that is going to be something that's going to change up our... That's called a goods substitution. What's happening there is pops are buying coal instead of buying wood as part of the substitution for their heating needs. And that will continue to grow. And what that will, one way that will help us, and actually one reason our money is doing a little better now, is because the reduced demand for wood from pops. Currently it's at 987 and it's going down because it's being replaced with demand for coal. As you can see, pop consumption for coal is up to 6.4. So if we continue to output a lot of coal, pops will continue to use that for heating. And the thing about coal is that coal is not used by our construction sectors, which is really rad. And if we can continue to work on that, we can be doing really well financially while keeping our construction going in tip-top shape. We are going a little faster now that we've got 2 more construction sectors. We're still using a lot of iron, but as we continue to build up our iron infrastructure, using these new Atmo pump engines, and using the coal to make them happen, we will... Yeah, there we go. we will be able to continue to make our economy more efficient and more productive. So that is an absolute bonus in terms of getting all the stuff we need done. Right, I'm going to go ahead and switch the rest of our iron mines over to the AEP. So they're going to continue to use coal, but we'll be producing more coal as we get along. Kyushu and the Ryukyus now. How are we doing with innovation? Are we at our innovation cap yet? We're not. Yeah, I guess our throughput bonuses for our level 2 universities are still pretty low. Maybe we'll triple up in some place with a lot of infrastructure available. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Because we're at 71.75 right now. So we need maybe 2 more levels overall. That said, I think that is the end of our session. We've been going for 3 years. We've just been kind of slowly building up our economy, making sure our finances and our overall market system tolerate the shift back to isolation. So yeah, but you know, it's nice, it's fine to have a chill run. But that's going to be all for this episode. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun. And yeah, I'll see you all on the other side.